I told you, don't get your hopes high. Hey everyone. So in my last video where I talked about my experience about M1 iPad, I said that a lot of people are expecting way too much from their iPad, like macOS or Pro-like apps. I know a lot of you are disappointed now. The reason I'm not disappointed because I was not expecting a lot from this WWDC. I mean, I really want all of those things what you guys were hyping about or wanted it. I mean, I really want that Final Cut Pro or macOS sort of thing on my iPad, but I was not expecting it to happen anytime soon. But still, there are some things that I would love to see, but they're not there. I'll start with iPadOS 15. So let's talk about what we got and what we missed. So now the widget can be placed anywhere like iOS, but there are a little bit bigger size for iPad, so that's good to see. Now you can also rearrange your homepage and hide them because you have new app library, which was already present on iOS, but now you get that on iPadOS, and you can also find them in the app drawer. So whenever you want, from wherever you want, you can access that directly. We're also getting a better multitasking support. I mean, they have not changed the multitasking itself, but they had the change to use it. So now you can click on the top of any of app, so you can change the multitasking. I mean, they did not change the orientation of the multitasking itself, but at least you can click them without even touching them. Like, it's easier for a lot of people, and also it will be easier to use it with Magic Keyboard. And you also get the shelf support. I just saw that in the Safari itself, but let's see how many apps are going to support that. Files app also has been tweaked a little bit. Now you can see the progress bar when you are copy pasting files. I know it's a very small thing, but people are waiting for a long time who actually use their iPad for photo editing and video editing. So at least they can see the larger file, how much time it's going to take. And now you can also drag and drop the file from the file app to the email app. The Note app is also updating, so now you get Google Docs sort of feature. You can tag a person, you can collaborate with multiple people, and you can add hashtags, so you can just directly search them. You also get a new feature like Quick Note, so it's basically a quick note. So if you're on any page, you take a note related to that page, and you whenever come back to that page, you're going to see that note there. And lastly, you get the Swift Playground. Now you can make your iPad and iOS apps from the iPad itself. I'm not sure how many people are going to use it because there's still no Xcode, but I think it's cool. So these are the things that you got on iPad OS. There are a lot of things that comes with iOS 15. So that will be available in both iPad OS, iOS and Mac OS itself. So I'll be talking about that in just a minute. But before that, I want to talk about what I really missed in this WWDC. The one major thing that I missed with the iPad is the multi-user support. So if you're sharing your iPad with multiple people in your family, you have to use a single profile, and I don't think that's a very good use of this bigger tablet. Also, there's no desktop support for monitor like this. So if you just going to use this iPad with your monitor, it's still going to mirror the display with that black bars on the side. So that is a little bit disappointing for me. Also, the multitasking has been improved, but it's still the same. There are no actually visual changes that you're going to use. I mean, you cannot still use 3 apps or a window sort of multitasking in the iPad itself. So that's also missing. So all the people with M1 iPad and 16 GB RAM, I'm really sorry. I know you were expecting a lot from this WWDC, and I get it. People hype a lot of things nowadays. So I think from the next time you might get your hope a little bit down. See, I think the M1 in the iPad is the main reason of the financial decision from Apple, because they don't have to make a new chip. They already have one chip, and why not add it? And the same reason for 16 GB RAM. They already had this configuration. I mean, why not charge more money for it? Now let's talk about the features in iOS 15, macOS 12, Safari features. The Safari has been redesigned, and there's some privacy things as well. So let's start with FaceTime. So we have a lot of new updates in FaceTime. Now you get the spatial audio support in FaceTime, and with that you'll be able to track who is speaking. I mean, that was not very difficult anyway, but at least you have the support right now. There's also a new grid view, but the main thing I was really excited about that you can FaceTime with other people who do not have iPhone itself, so they can use that link from the browser itself. You can also schedule the meetings using FaceTime. So it's basically Google Meet now. But if your family or friends use Apple devices, you can also share the music and movies, and you can watch them together with them via SharePlay. Apple is also releasing the SharePlay API so that app developer can make their apps to use this feature. As of now, Netflix and Prime Video does not support it, but on Disney and Hulu sort of apps does. So there are a lot of new feature in iMessage as well, but there was one distinctive feature, and that was the highlight of the show itself. That was the shared with you. If someone sends you a news, image, music, or any sort of link, you can see them in the respective app itself. So there will be a shared with you section, and you can watch the thing later, and you can just reply them directly from there. So Apple finally introduced Focus, which is basically Android profile, which was there in Android for a long time. So what it does is it makes multiple profile for you, like if you're at home or if you're in office. So you can create multiple profile for your fitness, for D&D, for nighttime. So all it does is it keeps the customized apps for you. So which apps will give notification to you and which will not. You can also customize your own profile if you want. So you can put a certain apps there. So if you want to get notification just from them, you can do that now. There is also a new notification summary feature, which is I think really helpful. So that's going to work with your profile itself, but in the normal mode itself. So AI is going to decide which notification is important for you, like someone from your colleague or your friends, and which notification is not important, like a promotional message for some application. So I think that is going to be really helpful. I already turned off so many notifications just because of that. So my social application is only sending me notification right now. So with that, I can actually schedule my notifications now. There's one more feature that is live text, which is basically like Google Lens, but it will work in your Photos app itself, or you can just take a picture of any text and read it from there. So that is useful. There are a lot of other things that have been updated, like Spotlight has been updated. So if you find some people, you can get anything related information from that, from their social media account, information about it. So if the person has ever contacted with you, all the information, your previous conversation will be there in Spotlight as well. There are some other minor updates like memories in the photo app, so they will add some music in the background. The weather update has been updated as well. You get the new wallet with additional features. You can also put your IDs, but I don't think that's going to work in India anytime soon. Also, the updates are more in Apple Maps, which I think barely anyone use right now, so that's not really important to me. For AirPods Pro and Max, you get the spatial audio on the tvOS and macOS, mainly with M1 Mac. You can now search your AirPods from the Find My app, and you can also turn on the notification. If you lose your AirPods or leave them behind, you'll get a notification from the AirPods itself. For macOS 12, you also get a major feature that is universal control. I was really missing that feature when I had M1 Mac Mini, but I wanted to use my Intel MacBook Pro as well, but it was very difficult to use a single mouse, so every time I have to change it. But now I can use it with universal control. So with that, you can use your single mouse and keyboard with all the platform like iPad, macOS or iMac or whatever system you have. There are some new updates with Safari as well, like a whole new design where the tab will show you the color of the page to make the part of the page itself. And there are also new tab group feature which will work on iOS, iPad and macOS. And now you're finally getting extension on iPad and iOS itself. So those were some visual updates. Apple also updated some of the privacy feature as well. So now you can hide your IP in the email so that no one can track you, and you can do the same in the Safari itself so that they do not match your activity based on your IPs. You also get a new feature, App Privacy Report, which will tell you which app is accessing which data for 7 days and where it is sending your data. For Siri, now the speech recognition will be happen on the device itself locally, so it will not send any of your speech recognition unless it's necessary. For the local commands, it's going to work offline, so it's going to be really faster. On iCloud, you also get a new recovery feature, so you can add another person as a recovery option. So in case you forget your password, you can use their phone to recover, but it is not going to share all of your information to that person. You can also add a digital legacy, which is basically going to help you if anything happens to you, it's going to transfer your application and data to another person which you trusted. So I guess that was most of it. These were the features that did not disappoint me. I'm sorry if I don't sound as excited like iPhone user because I've used all of those features in Android as well. And one more thing, I would not suggest you to use this developer beta on your primary machine, especially on your work machine, because even if you don't see any bugs right now, it's still a beta. So in the upcoming update, there could be a lot of bugs. Do like the video if you find it useful. My name is Rohit. I'll see you on the next one. Till then.